Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and today I thought I would talk to you guys about something which I've been thinking a lot about lately, and it's something that I think I've been thinking about it a lot over the last few years, but I don't think I've ever actually told you guys, or like at least elaborated on what I've said. But I've been thinking a lot about death lately. Oh god, that sounded so dark. But I have, and I've been thinking, not necessarily, and you don't need to worry, okay, I don't need any kind of help or anything. At least I don't think so. But no, especially yesterday, as I said to you guys in the video I posted yesterday, that I took a weird pill and it like messed me up. I did actually take it. It was an allergy pill, but it messed me up. It was like super strong. I was super drowsy all day. I felt really exhausted. I literally hallucinated a spider jumping onto my chest, and it wasn't even really there. I started looking around and I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I don't know what was going on with that pill, but it's not the first time I've taken one, and it's happened before. I guess because I was so exhausted, and it literally zapped me of every ounce of energy that I had to give, and I was thinking a lot about, like, as I said to you guys, I think I said I cried literally like 5 times. Well, it was literally 3 times, to be honest. But I cried. Like, it was just a very, like, I don't know, I was in such an emotional state yesterday that I couldn't even, like, it was like weird. I was just drifting in and out of awareness too. That was another thing I noticed. Like when it was like 9 p.m, I remember looking at the clock and it was like, oh, it's 9 p.m. And then I looked at it again, just like what felt like just a second later, and it was 9:21. I just literally zoned out. I don't know where I went, but it wasn't inside my head. The time just disappeared, and it was crazy. But especially yesterday, because I was really exhausted and drowsy because of that pill, I was thinking a lot about death, and like not really the dying process, but like what happens after we die. And I'm not talking about just ghosts and stuff like that. And I want to say something here which may be kind of controversial, especially since I built my whole foundation of my channel on the paranormal and horror stuff. But I am starting to become a little bit skeptical. Like, I've had experiences, and you know, I've told you guys ghost stories and things like that. Some of them are extremely convincing, even to me. But it's now like, I don't know whether it's I'm getting older, or like I'm just starting to doubt the world that I live in, or what. But like, it's just like, I'm starting to really think, like, if there's really ghosts, why don't they just fucking show themselves? Like, I get it, maybe you need a lot of energy, but you think about 300,000 years, since like humans became existent, and think about how many of them, going all the way back to like not just like recent years, but like all the way back to the caveman days, and yet not one single fucking ghost can manifest itself right in front of us all on live TV so we can watch it. Like, it's just, I don't know, I feel a little bit skeptical. I feel like I do believe at night when I'm going up the stairs in the dark. That's when I believe in ghosts, because I'm thinking, oh god, I'm preparing for it to grab my ankle, and it's the scariest feeling ever. I freak myself out so bad. Realistically, when I'm thinking logically, I think, do ghosts even exist? I really want them to, because I want to know that there is something after this life. I am also skeptical about God, and I'm skeptical about heaven and hell. Like, I'm skeptical about these things because there's not enough proof. And I guess you could say, well, there's a lot of proof of ghosts. That's what I thought too, but is it really proof? Like, I mean, a lot of it could be technical things, like glitches on the cameras. Who's to say that this orb, which is just a white ball flying past, who's to say it's a ghost? It could be a piece of dust, it could be a camera thing, it could be anything. We just like automatically go, that's a fucking ghost. And I'm guilty of it too. Like, I'm the worst one for it. Like, I think everything's a fucking ghost. I hear a noise, like, make a sound over there, and I'm like, what's that? That's a ghost. But like, in reality, is it really, like, is there really ghosts? Is there really an afterlife? That's what I want to know. I'm pretty sure everybody wants the answers to it. I don't like the idea that we just die and that's the end. That freaks me out, and it does bring me comfort to think that maybe there is like life after death and we do become ghosts. And like, I feel like the heaven and hell thing scares me a little bit because I'm not a religious person. I do like to believe that there is a God. I do like to believe that if I died, he would forgive me for all my sins and I would go to heaven and be with my family in peace forever. That would be perfect. But it's also like, what if I go to hell? Like, I've done things wrong in my life, and I know in my heart that I'm not a bad person. And like, I recognize that I've made these mistakes. You know, I've made problems. I've been a sinner, I guess you could say. But what if that's not enough to get me into heaven? Like, what if I am gonna burn in hell for eternity for the things that I've done, even though I don't think I've done anything that's like worth burning in hell for? Like, I might not be a great guy, but like I'm not the worst person ever. But it's more like, I don't know, I seen a TikTok and it was a clip from Ghost Whisperer, I think it's called, the TV show. I've never watched it. I have heard of it before. But there was a clip of a little girl at a funeral, and it was an old man. He was in the casket, and she sees him in the casket, and then she sees him out of the casket, like alive, and she's the only one that can see him. And it's got that sad music in the background again, the one that's always in every TikTok video, the one that's like, I'm sorry, don't leave me, I want you here with me. It was that song again, and it was just kind of sad. And she sees this old man, and he knows, like, she's the only one that can see her. She's the only one that can see him. And he says to her, hey, can you pass a message to my wife? That's her over there. And it shows the wife sitting on one of the benches in this church, and she's crying, obviously. And so the little girl says, how will she believe me? And he says, well, we were married for so many years, and I think he said 26 years or something like that. And he said, and I had to go. And he said, but I didn't have a chance to tell her that I loved her, and I really want you to do that for me. And that's when the little girl said, what if she doesn't believe me? And he says, tell her I want her to keep drinking champagne every Friday night like we always did. Then she will believe you. So the little girl goes over, and you see her whisper to the old lady, his wife. And then the old lady breaks down crying. And the little girl says, I don't understand. And then she looks at this other old lady, and the old lady says to her, she's like, you will one day. And then it shows the little girl turn and look at the man, and he just walks away, like almost not fades away, but like he fades away into a dark, like it's like a doorway, and he goes out, and that's it. Like, he made his peace because of that little girl, and that made me cry. Like, I was in tears over that. It was so sad, but it made me think, like, I really hope that's what it's like in the afterlife. I really hope that there is a reason why we can't see or communicate with each other. Only every now and then we can get glimpses if we're lucky. But it just made me think, like, I would love that to be real. And I've seen it in a lot of movies or TV shows, like in Jeepers Creepers too. When Derry manifests, even though he's dead, he manifests himself in, I can't remember the girl, Minx, her name was, her dream. And she sees Derry multiple times in this bus going past, and she goes past Derry, and he's pointing, like, as if to say, go back. And she goes past him in the bus, and then when she looks forward again, she passes him again, and then he starts to become more aggressive with his message to her. He's like, you gotta go back, he's coming for you, he's in the field, he's like yelling at her. And that made me think, like, wow, even like Derry's, I guess, like, Jeepers Creepers isn't about ghosts or anything, but Derry's ghost must have somehow manifested, or his spirit must have communicated with Minx or manifested in her dream, whether she was just psychic or he just chose her to be the one to manifest himself as a ghost in her mind. And then there's other things, like in You, I think it was You, the TV series on Netflix, You season 1, when I can't remember the girl's name, but the blonde girl from New York, and Joe kills her. And then when he moves to Los Angeles, or wherever he went in California, he's still like seeing her, and he sees her like he's walking down the street, and he will see her, and he's like, is that her? Like, he's kind of confused. And then he ends up seeing her in his apartment, and it could have been his mind like making him think that he was seeing her, but he was like arguing with her and stuff like that. And it also reminds me of a music video. I'm throwing a lot of examples here because this is what I love to believe in. And it's the music video for Brad Paisley and Alison Krauss's Whiskey Lullaby. And that song makes me cry all the time. It's so sad, especially the music video, if you guys have seen it. But in the end of the music video, you see that the ghosts of those two individuals, the man and the woman, they appear again. They meet in the afterlife, and they're dancing on their graves at the cemetery where they were both buried side by side, and they reconcile and they forgive each other for like both committing suicide. Spoiler alert. But they committed suicide by drinking. They drank themselves to death, both of them, and they forgive each other. They reconcile, and they were dancing and smiling, and like in the next life, they had made peace. And I love to believe that, like, in the next life, there will be peace, and there will be that happy ever after that we never got in this world. I don't know what you guys believe, but if I think about it too much, I'm going to start crying again. But it's like something I've been thinking a lot about lately, and it can kind of get me a little bit down. Yeah, I could go on because there's more, but I was also thinking about, like, what if I died, like, right now? I was sitting there and I was looking at all of my stuff, and I thought, if I were to die right now, like, and people would have to come in here and start clearing out my things, and I was looking and there's, like, my pills. Those pills they were there for me to take. They were supposed to all be gone, and then I would start the next pack. And then the bottle of water that I used to drink the pills down with, like, I always keep them side by side so I don't forget to take the pills. But, like, I was, like, thinking that water will still be there even if I weren't here. Like, somebody's gonna have to empty that out. That water was put in that bottle for me to drink, and I'm not here anymore. And it made me think, like, all these little things that you don't really think of. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even food and stuff, I was thinking, like, that food that is there for me, it was there for me to eat. It will just, I won't be able to eat it because I'll be gone. Somebody's gonna have to dispose of it or eat it, but I can't see anybody wanting to eat my food over my dead body. Dropping crumbs on me while I'm dead, like eating my snacks. But it's just one of those things I've been thinking very, very deeply into, and it freaks me out a lot. Let me know in the comment section, do you guys relate? Do you think about that pretty often too, or never? Or have I just given you a mental breakdown right now? Are you freaking out? Because you should be. It's okay, that panic attack will go away in about 30 minutes. It happens to me a lot. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys, and I'll hopefully feel better tomorrow, but chase your dreams.